A few weeks ago, something happened that completely changed my financial plan. I got promoted. My salary went from $65,000 to $85,000. But here's the funny thing, I don't feel $20,000 richer. If you're new here, I'm documenting my journey to $100,000 invested before I turned 30. Up until now, every video has been based upon me making $65,000. But today, that's changing. I'm sorry for the lapse in videos. A lot of what I'm talking about today has taken up quite a bit of my time, and figuring out how to best share it with you guys outside of obviously just saying I got a $20,000 raise didn't feel appropriate. I've been working with my team for 2 years now, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've learned a great deal. I think a lot of what went into it was my overall persistence, trying to be the best at what I do, and coming every day prepared and ready to answer the next big question. I do work in corporate, and things move slower than I would have maybe anticipated. And to myself, I feel that job hopping can definitely expedite this process, just speaking from experience. I've had opportunities throughout my career so far to do such, and every time the opportunity came up, I sort of just put it off. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like what my life needed at that moment. And again, I just truly enjoyed where I'm at and what I do. And that's what felt so different about receiving this raise, because I've been with the same company for 3 years now, and I've been promoted twice within. It's definitely an honor and it makes me feel like I'm headed down the right track. However, the way that it came about is just very unconventional. Some of what I mean is I've had colleagues leave, quite honestly, rather rapidly over the past year and a half. And throughout that time, I've remained constant and true to my team. That's not to say that works for everybody, because I know that sometimes you can stay at a job forever and never really see what you were after. I had been nominated for the position, to be honest with you guys, about 6 months ago, maybe even a little bit less. And the news came as a shock to me, even though I knew that this was, the next step for myself. What was so different about it is usually you would hear from your team directly, your manager, and they would report the good news to you. Instead, I was logging off for a Friday evening, and I got an email from HR at the very end of the day. The email just simply stated, "Congratulations on your promotion, and here is your new salary." When I first graduated college, I thought that making $85,000, I would feel rich. Turns out, life really doesn't work like that. Over the past few months, I've been going through some really large life changes. I got married, I moved to a new state, and I now live with my wife. And these are just different expenses and experiences that weren't necessarily accounted for with an $85,000 salary. Of course, it was budgeted for my $65,000 salary, and you would think that, hey, $20,000 more, I should, feel it in some capacity. And that's not to say that I don't, because I am extremely grateful for the opportunity, but it just goes to show you that a salary isn't what determines your wealth in life. Instead of increasing my lifestyle to fit my new salary, I've remained the same so far, and I anticipate on remaining the same throughout the duration of this salary. That's not to say that life won't get in the way and things do arise. Part of what I mentioned earlier is now I have an increase in taxes. My insurance, of course, is just a constant bill. Rent, of course, is another constant. Moving to Colorado is still an expense that my wife and I are catching up from. We think we're slowly starting to finally get in the groove, but it's something that you can't really prepare for. You just kind of have to experience it and go with the flow. You can try to mitigate a lot of expenses that may come up, but at the end of the day, life is meant to sort of just be lived and, worked through. And it's an always ever evolving, curveball that they're throwing at you. So while $85,000 does, sort of inflate my lifestyle, I am gonna counteract that by investing more, saving more, and overall just giving myself that cushion that I've been longing for. This just helped expedite my path to $100,000, and what's really exciting is I get to show you guys what a raise of $20,000 does to a journey like mine. It of course is going to help me, and it's of course going to expedite the process of reaching $100,000, and that's what is so exciting to get to share with you guys. One thing I promised myself when I started this channel was to always be transparent. Some creators never talk about their income, but to me it's a pinnacle point of sometimes why everybody tunes in. And I think it would be weird if I continued to make budgeting videos but left out probably the biggest variable of that. I know $85,000 is an amazing salary, and I again am forever grateful that this opportunity has fallen onto my lap finally, because building wealth isn't about one single raise. It's about what you do with every single one of those raises. Now that you know the good news, I'm going to be doing a financial reset for the month of July and account for this new raise in future videos. So please like, subscribe, and tell me what a $20,000 raise tomorrow would do for you. I would love to hear more about it and keep the conversation going.